Bitcoin price drops from the new all-time high. I told you this was going to happen. Don't sweat it. I'm going to show you where to look for critical support. Hey guys, it's Keith Allen, and this is something that was forecasted. If you are surprised by this move, quite frankly, you haven't been paying attention. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to BitBreak Live. My name's Keith Allen. For those who are new to the stream, I'm glad to have you. I am a full-time trader. I'm a work-from-home dad, and I'm co-founder at Material Indicators. And today we're seeing some price action that my guess is quite a few of you don't like. And I understand that. But I have been telling you for a solid week to expect this move. And I can also tell you that I don't think that we found support yet on this little pullback. And I do have a good inkling of where that might be. So those are the things we're going to discuss. We're not just going to discuss like the technicals, but kind of some of the psychology behind some of these moves that we tend to see out of Bitcoin. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about what scenarios create the most pain, what scenarios create the most bullish outlook for the near term, and ultimately where we're going from here. Again, if you're new to the stream, welcome. If you're an old school member, if you're an OG, thank you so much for your continued support. I am so appreciative of each and every one of you. And if you would do me the favor, I do this for you for free. Don't cost nothing. All I ask is that you return the favor by smashing some buttons for me. Hit the like, hit the share, invite some of your friends, invite a friend, just one friend, or perhaps share it with a community, with one of your trading communities, and let's grow this channel together. And one last favor, join me. Live chat is open. These streams are always better when you guys can participate. If we have time, and I'm on a tight schedule today, but if we have time and you have charts you want me to look up, I will do my best to accommodate you there as well. So I see live chat is already starting to hey, Enrique. Yes, I agree. LFG, let's fucking go. So let's just go ahead and climb into it. I'm going to share a candle chart just to kind of show you what's happening here. And we'll look at some other indicators as well. But the first thing here is these timescape levels. I've been sharing timescapes with you for quite some time, and we have been discussing them the past solid week or so because we have the two final timescapes of the year have just printed. So if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, timescapes here, you can see them on the chart with these lines and labels here, these green lines and blue labels that show you the date. Now, what do these dates correspond to? What do these lines correspond to? I'm glad you asked. They are, we call them timescapes. This is actually our newest indicator at Material Indicators. And gosh, I love this one for a lot of reasons. It's rock solid. There's no delay on it. There's no lag. I mean, it prints right at the candle open, and it stays there until the end of time, and it works across every single time frame. That in itself is valuable to me, but just the consistency that it works has really been game changing for me. So here's the scenario. Timescapes are by definition, these levels are established at each quarterly open and at each first weekly open of those respective quarters. So we just, of course, had our Q4 open right here on the first of the month, first day of the quarter at just above 114K. And Monday, we had our first weekly open. Now, historically, and I'm taking, we could take this all the way back to the beginning of Bitcoin's time. Historically, and you can see all of these legacy timescapes are in here. Once they're there forever. So historically, when we have seen a strong bounce from a timescape level, the first one of that period, so say the quarterly open, then the first weekly open tends to head to a correction. And likewise, if the first timescape level is if price drops after the open, then the adjacent Timescape level, meaning the first week, is typically where we'll see a bounce. So in this instance, we had a beautiful bounce from that quarterly open here down on 10-1. We saw price move nicely, right? And since then, we've had just a tremendous rally from below the key moving averages, 3 of the 4 key moving averages, recovered all 3 of those, then recovered the trend line and made 2 new all-time highs in the process. So that move collectively just from this open was a nice 10-11% swing for anybody that took it. And now we're seeing this pullback. So where's it going to go? Obviously, the first, your eyes on the chart are going to go to that first level right here at the trend line. And that would be great, right? This, in my opinion, would be a tremendous sign of strength if Bitcoin could hold right here. Here's why I don't think it will. Sorry. If you've spent any time in this market, you have likely been the victim of a trade that moved against you and moved just a bit past those levels that you really thought it was going to go to. That happens a lot around here, and it happens for a number of reasons. Normal trading activity where the market likes to shake out the weak hands. But there's so many bots trading, so much algo trading, and a lot of those bots are set to those key levels, those moving averages and trend lines, etc. And so just overshooting those slightly could wipe those out, and then we see price recover. So we're seeing price now inch its way down towards the trend line, and we might get a short hop from there. But my eyes really see a couple of reasons why we need to go deeper. Now, losing the trend line is never really a good thing, but I would argue that it's a wick below it is going to not be a sign of strength, of course, but it's ultimately, where does price close? Where do we close on the daily? Where do we close on the weekly? And in this instance, Timescape levels, they seem to be stronger, or strongest, I would say, when there are multiple levels compressed in a tight range, like we see here and here, right? And also where there's confluence with other indicators. In this case, you have beautiful confluence with the 50-day moving average and this Q4 open, this 10/1/2025 Timescape. So I do think that this is a legitimate target, but there's a couple of reasons I like it, not just for the Timescape level, but from a technical level. We've not tested support since this blast off. Now, I don't necessarily love that could bring us to a lower low, unless it happens on this candle, right? If it happens on this candle and we wick down here and then bounce back, we still have a higher high. I do want to maintain a higher low. So I don't want to see price go down below. I really don't want to see price go down below this level, but I certainly wouldn't want to see it breaking below the 200-day moving average, because one, that would be a lower low, and two, this is really a last line of defense in terms of technical support levels. So this is where I'm focused. I mean, in one shot, we could test this, boom, and then consolidate and break back up. So let's see what that move would look like in terms of a correction. Is that a big deal in crypto terms? In crypto terms, a move down to the trend line is nothing. It's not even 5%. That happens every day in crypto. A move down to this quarterly open is still less than a 10% move. That is not anything to panic about. Nothing whatsoever. In my opinion, this is not a sign of a cycle top or a local top. Well, a local top, yes, but not a cycle top. It is a needed and necessary. Yeah, those are the same thing. It's a necessary support test to validate support in this range. And it can happen anywhere, right? It doesn't necessarily have to reach this timescape. It could be anywhere in this zone between, well, quite frankly, between the trend line and the 50-day moving average. But even if it bounced from the 21-day moving average, I'd be pretty happy with that. Showing that we have tested support at a key level, and then we can work our way back up and out. So in terms of where support might live in the order book now, let's take a peek and see if we have anything changing in the order book that might indicate where there is more strength. You can see, obviously, some robust selling happening here. You see the bid liquidity stair stepping down. You see we do have new ask liquidity appearing in here. Let's go to a lower time frame and get a little bit more resolution here. So bids are starting to come into this range, but I'm not yet convinced that we might get this short hop here. It could bounce from the trend line, so this would be consistent with the trend line right here. Looks like some bid liquidity has actually left the. Let's see, there was 12 million. There's now 10 million. So just a couple million have pulled away from that 115 level. And where is the other, where's that other level that we were talking about? In the, somewhere between this 114 and 116 range is where we have, all of these technical levels here. So you see on fire charts, we do have bid liquidity coming into this 120 range right now. So this isn't the place to panic sell right now, is what I'm saying, right? There is some bid support coming in here, but what you want to see is buying. You at the moment, all classes are dumping into this bid liquidity. And if they eat through it, obviously we're going to see price go lower. So will this replenish? Will it bounce from here and go back up to this 125 range and give us another opportunity, or is it just going to push lower and punish more people? So those are the things to watch on the Bitcoin side of it. Now we're seeing similar price action on ETH, and look at ETH. All right, and so ETH is now trying to hold the trend line as well, right? It lost the very same Timescape level. But we also have a situation here. Look at the great confluence here on this 10-1, on this quarterly open, right? We had support, we had resistance here, we had support, we had support, we had support, and then boom, up. So this was nice. We established some strong support here at this level before we even reached that open, and price moved up. So with ETH, yes, here's the trend line. We'd like to see that hold, but I could certainly see an overshoot. This isn't, in my opinion, as critical as necessary to go down to this quarterly open, because we established that this was a strong support level beforehand. Whereas with Bitcoin, it was like, boom, let's go. We didn't have as much clean support at that level on the Bitcoin chart. So I think Bitcoin needs to, obviously at the very least, test here, conceivably go down and test this range somewhere between this 114 and 116 range. And ETH sitting at 4,500 right now. If it went down, if it went all the way down to this range, that's a gift in my opinion. I don't think it's necessarily going to go there. This was already well established, really a well-established RS flip here. And so maybe it will, but it's not necessary. It's not as necessary, in my opinion, for price to go this low. Maybe we hang here. So let's see if we can get some insight on the ETH chart as to where price could go. Oh, need to refresh that guy. Oh, it's getting active. My internet is moving slow. While that's thinking, let me take a peek at something something like this. For all of you alt season dreamers, look at what's happening at the moment. Total 3 ES is dropping. ETH dominance is dropping. Bitcoin dominance is leveled off, right? Uptrend, but right now it's flat. And stablecoin dominance is increasing. So this means money is rotating. Not so much money is rotating out of Bitcoin right now. More money is coming out of alts and ETH at this particular moment in time. That means your alt season dreams are on hold, my friends. Hey, Duncan. Hello. Nice to have you. Appreciate the follow. So what's going on here? I got a timeout. I'm in timeout. Let me see if I can get that to refresh. And in the meantime, let's take a peek at a couple other charts. I think we're going to see the same thing, right? We talk about a high tide raising all boats. Guess what? Last night was interesting. Full moon last night. King tide, meaning a huge high tide, and we had a huge all-time high, by the way, and on the Bitcoin chart, anyways. And then things dropping down as king tides do. Right? You get a big high tide and you get a big low tide. And so now we're getting that low, and a low tide, like a high tide raises all boats, a low tide drops all boats. So we're seeing the market collectively pull back. So I wanted to look at ETH really quick. We have a mixture of buying and selling here, but it looks more like retail doing the buying at this point and whales doing the distribution at this point. We don't have the same depth of order book depth here on the ETH chart as we do on Bitcoin, but we can see some support establishing here at this level just below 4,500 and trying to bounce. So we're getting some buying from the smaller order classes, and that may be that might not just be retail. It might be the fact that since liquidity is so thin on the upside that whales can't really make big buy orders, not market orders anyways, in this environment. So watching to see what happens incrementally here for ETH price. But again, I like this level for ETH. So if it can bounce and recover, if it can recover this Timescape level, that would be a big deal for ETH. So this is what you're watching, right? Can it hold? Can it close and hold above this Timescape level? And now that we've already wicked through it once, what's tomorrow going to bring? So keep an eye on this Timescape level, because it's going to tell you whether ETH is going to continue to climb up or if ETH is going to pull back and move into a deeper correction, deeper support test. Similarly, with Bitcoin, how does price react around this Timescape level? If price can recover here, then it's back to game on. A consolidation above this level would be good, and working our way up back towards the all-time high and real price discovery. You know, what's interesting is all of these all-time highs that we've made here this year, they've been incremental. Nothing has been just a huge power move. They have been incremental all-time highs. So, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with slow and steady wins the race. If we're just going to keep grinding up, that's okay with me. But typically, when we see just a real breakout, we see a bigger move, which is not materialized as of yet, and that makes me think that it's coming at some point in time, perhaps by the end of the year, if not the first half of next year. So that's where my head's at. Hope that gives you some things to marinate on and gives you some key levels to watch for Bitcoin. If this doesn't hold here at this trend line, then be mindful of this range between the quarterly open Timescape level, currently serving as strong technical support with confluence with the 50-day moving average, and really anywhere in this range, which is around 114K to 116K range, could be a solid support test. Obviously, if we come down here, this establishes, more strong foundational support, but we have to get back up above this timescape level for things to really take off. So this is your key level that needs to be reclaimed in terms of resistance, and support needs to be established. It's looking like it might hold for the moment right here. Let's go back to the Bitcoin chart and see if anything is changing there just really quickly, before we wrap this one up. You can see there's still just a little bit of buying off the bottom here. So maybe now that we have we've cleared out some liquidity, we do have some bids starting to stair step up a little bit, and more coming into place. This might be a short bounce here, not short in terms of a short sell, but actually a short as in incremental bounce back towards the upper end of the range. I'm always watching this spin CVD to see what whales are doing at the moment. We saw mega whales do some selling. They sold about 20% of what they had purchased in the past 24 hours. And we see all the other core order classes had sold everything. And now whales and those red sharks are just incrementally starting to buy, maybe looking to inch their way in before everybody else catches on to what they're doing. Hope that gives you some insight. If you're looking for more info on these tools, or you want to gain access to them yourself, you'll find links in the description below. If you are watching a delayed version of this and didn't have a chance to engage or ask questions, feel free to drop a comment in X or on YouTube, wherever you may be watching, and I will engage with those later. Thanks again, guys, for your continued support. Enrique, I appreciate you coming into the stream. Always a pleasure to share, and hopefully we're all learning together. Like I said, a high tide raises all boats. Hope this is raising you guys up a little bit, and if nothing else, arming you with some data and some tools to help you trade smarter. Have a great day, guys. Keep it real.